Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be technically episode 3 of me reading a book in one sitting. Today's book is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I felt like this was a perfect pick for a one sitting read. I have had Emily Henry's books before and they are quite easy to read in one sitting. So that's one of the reasons. I don't know, it just gives off one sitting vibes. I feel like it's going to be nice, quick, easy, you know. Now, the only thing is Emily Henry is a hit or miss author for me. I either really, well not really, but I either like them or dislike them. Either like 2 stars or like a 4-star. I did rate You and Me on Vacation, also known as People We Meet on Vacation, 5 stars, but over the years I have kind of like brought that down a bit. I feel like I was like overhyping that a little bit at the time. I have brought it down to probably more of like a 4. So, you know, that kind of range. So I am really hoping to like this one. I have heard hit or miss things about it. Some people love it, some people hate it. But I don't really know too much about it. I'm kind of going into this a little bit blind. I'm going to stop rambling and let's just get right into it. Okay, it has been a while and I have actually made it a good chunk in. I'm on page 234 and I was going to give you all a different angle, but my dog is still here, and so I wasn't going to move him because he's comfortable. But yeah, anyway, so I am really not enjoying this one, if I'm being completely honest. When Hayden and Alice met and they was like getting to know each other and that like dynamic, I was into that and I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting, because I don't know, I just felt like there was like a vibe there type thing. But then I don't know, as we started to get along in the story, that like vibe just left and I just don't feel anything towards these characters individually or together. I don't see a chemistry. I just don't really care for these characters much, to be honest, trying to put it in the nicest way possible. And then Margaret's story, I really just don't, not for me. When I'm reading it, I'm just like, let's move on type thing. I really don't care. Again, trying to put it as nicely as I possibly can. I don't know, with this book, please note, I literally have already read a whole book today. Would have already seen that video. But I've already read a whole book. Oh, now he leaves. Okay, bye. Yeah, I have already read a whole book. And at first I thought maybe that was it, but it's not. It generally is this book. But yeah, I have already read a whole book today. And when I was reading that book, I didn't want to put it down. I didn't want to do anything else. With this book, I am at the point where I am really finding it hard to stay focused, and I kind of just want to like go and do something else type thing. And again, it's not because I've read all day, because I'm in a reading mood. I want to read, I just don't want to read this book. If I'm being completely honest. Also, with this story being about writers, I just really don't care about the story they're writing and the story within the story. So yeah, I can't wait to finish this. I don't think I actually explained what this is about. So this is about Alice, who is an aspiring writer, and she is competing with Hayden to write the biography. But yeah, I am going to try my best to just kind of binge the rest. I mean, I have to read it in one sitting, that's the whole point of this video. But I'm just gonna sit here, read, and kind of get it done. I don't want to sound horrible by saying it's like terrible, but I don't know, it's not for me. It's not for me. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so I have finished it. I don't know how to like talk about what I want to talk about without sounding really horrible. I don't mean it in a horrible way, it's just my opinion. But I think I'm going to rate this 2 stars. It isn't surprising for me for an Emily Henry book, because I have rated an Emily Henry book 2 stars before, but this one felt more rushed. It didn't feel like Emily Henry. If you are an Emily Henry fan, I feel like you'll know what I mean by that. It didn't give Emily Henry vibes, especially like the romance. Whenever you hear about Emily Henry, you always hear about her romance and how good romance is, and the connection and the yearning and all that stuff. You always hear about that all the time. I just didn't feel it in this one. It just felt really rushed, and like I said, there was none of the yearning, there was none of like that tension and chemistry, and you just feel like they're meant to be together. There was none of that. It's kind of disappointing, because that is what Emily Henry is known for, but I digress. It's fine. But yeah, the characters themselves, I just felt like there wasn't really much to them. Then we're gonna go to Margaret's story. I did mention that I was finding them boring, because I wasn't really interested, and the further we got into the story, you really feel like there's some type of like drama to it, or something that's going to be revealed and like going to be massive. Something really big has happened, and so you're waiting and waiting each time you get more of the story, and you're like, there's this like anticipation. It wasn't as scandalous as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Honestly, it was kind of like, like that's kind of what you get when the story's over. There's nothing like much to it, and so I was kind of disappointed about that, because I felt like there was all like this anticipation every single time you got to read more of the story, but then you didn't really get anything at the end of it. I did feel bored throughout this whole story, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know, I felt myself like drifting or wanting to go and do other things, and I don't know what that could have been. Who knows? But I want to think about the positives a little. Good thing is I did enjoy the beginning, and them meeting each other and them finding a dynamic and all that stuff. That intrigued me. But then, like I said previously, you kind of lose that throughout the story. And there was some amazing quotes. Emily Henry still kept up with the good quotes in this book, which I appreciate. Love a good Emily Henry quote, if I must say so myself. And there were still cute moments, even though I'm not a really big fan of the romance in this. There were still moments that I could appreciate were cute. I was a little bit disappointed, because Emily Henry normally has like a funny MMC and like, I don't know, can I say golden retriever vibes type? And I just felt like Hayden wasn't that. Don't get me wrong, he does seem like a good person, but I just felt like there wasn't really much like personality to their MMC. I think that's what I have to say. I do feel like I've just spoke negatively about this book. It's not the worst. That's why I'm thinking of rating it 2 stars. That's kind of like the vibe, I think. Anyway, that is the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and hope to see you in my next one. Bye.